It's time to get some SportSense. You're gonna get some SportSense. You better get ready for SportSense. SportSense.
Welcome back to SportSense. This is the sports show for sports news where my dad is helping us all make some sense out of sports. I'm Cooper Epps, and with me as always is my dad, James Epps. Dad, how's it going?
Hey, Coop, good. Ready to roll. I do feel a little lost without that third party from last week, but I'm okay. I felt very hemmed in by you two on the video screen last week. I was in the middle being pinched, and you two were talking, but I got my 2 cents worth in.
You definitely got, we all wanted to hear your opinions, so that was perfect. And
it was a lot of fun.
It does feel like how parents are always talking about how excited they are for the kids to move out of the house and get some peace and quiet. But now that we've got it, I miss them. So Jackson, you'll have to come back on soon.
He has a heavy dose of energy. I thought that I knew energy, but he's got it.
He's gifted. Well, let's for those who didn't listen last week, who we're talking about is my one of my very best childhood friends, Jackson Cooper, who he came on. He's literally a movie expert. He's written books and been a professor, and anyways, he's studied it extensively, more than most people you'll ever meet.
Everybody I told you, I said he's basically brilliant in that area. All you had to do is trigger, and then he would connect actor, producer to another movie from 1950s to the 1970s. And then they won an Oscar, or they were nominated. They weren't. It was crazy.
The wealth of trivia in his brain is something else.
It is a little scary. So
it's funny how there's a value for everything. Yeah. He's made a career out of it. And among other things, he's also just he's a fundraiser and in the arts. And anyways, we don't need to go on too much about him because that was last week, but he came on and we talked about the best sports movies ever made. Okay. So of course that was a bold title for the episode. So I did get a few messages from people saying, you didn't talk about this. So I just want to give a special shout out to some of what people sent in to us. So let me go here to my archive. Okay. Yeah. So there's just a handful of answers I want to give a shout out to. So one of them was my friend Laurie. He submitted Church Ball, which is an LDS film, but it was by the same guy who made the RM and the Singles Ward and that stuff.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that one?
I never saw it. I heard about it, but I never saw it.
I never saw that one either. And I messaged him. I said, "Are you just being funny, or is it actually good?" And he says, it's actually one of my favorite movies. He says it's hilarious. So anyways, there's that recommendation for anybody who's ever played church in or basketball in a church gym before. Okay. Somebody submitted F1. So that's a brand, we talked about that.
Recency bias, I'm sure, but
right. Did you see that?
I haven't seen it.
Oh man, I thought you and Mom, that's one you guys would definitely go out for.
We haven't seen it.
But I've heard it's solid. I've heard it's pretty good.
Yep.
But I posted on the Instagram story. I said, there's no way this is actually a best sports movie ever. At least we got to give it a few decades to see if it stands the test of time. Yeah.
But appreciate the input that they reached out.
Yeah. So, okay. Speaking of which, somebody else said Facing the Giants. Did you ever watch that one?
Is that the little?
That? Here's the poster.
Yeah. Let me see the little football.
Do you see?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The underdog. It's another underdog. So I did. It is very good. It is very good.
Okay.
Not one of the best though.
Yeah, when it came out, I remember thinking it looked cheesy or something. I never watched it.
It's one of the feel goods, I think kind of Christian based.
Yeah. Time and place for
it's
that.
Excellent. Yeah, it's excellent for that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. A Warrior submitted, Remember the Titans. So we were right on those. And then the big one that we got a lot of flack for not mentioning was Rudy.
All the way from your mother on down. Your mother. So let's give her a shout out. She was telling me that before the episode. And I said, I can't put We Are Marshall, Root. I was just putting all these football movies. I was trying to give us a little broader spectrum there.
So many good football movies.
But I do have to say, it's probably easily in the top 5. It definitely is.
I need to rewatch it because my coworker said Rudy, and then he said that his wife saw him messaging me that and said, "Oh, I hate Rudy."
Yeah,
So
there's
I don't know.
Depends who you are.
So I'm curious to see if it stood the test of time. Okay, couple more quick mentions. We don't need to talk about them. The Mighty Ducks, which I remember as a kid, fun. The Big Green. I don't know what that one is actually. The Big Green. But listeners, look there. That was submitted as like a favorite, and that was actually from a friend of mine who works at Fox, 21st Century Fox, as like a TV producer. So he's got pretty good movie know-how as well.
Cred.
Yeah,
That's 95. I love that kid. Yeah. It's a soccer. He only got 5.5 on IMDb.
Yeah, it's this kid from The Sandlot. Patrick
yeah,
Renna.
exactly. That red-haired, freckle-faced one. He's the goalie. Yeah.
So I guess that must be like a nostalgic one for that guy that messaged me.
Yeah, it's a Disney from 1995.
Okay.
At least I know what it is now. Yeah.
It looks like the poster. It looks like that redhead guy is getting a soccer ball straight to the groin. So that must be a pretty silly one.
Yeah, you kind of know what kind of humor he likes then,
right? Okay, and then one more. So somebody messaged me saying Moneyball is the only correct answer.
Oh boy!
And you brought up some baseball movies that we missed at the end of the last episode as honorable mentions. Yeah. But Moneyball is one I've had on my watch list for years and years, and I just have never popped it on. So I need to do that this summer while it's baseball season.
Yeah, you do. Let's see what.
Have you watched that one? I think it's a rated R one. So maybe
it's PG-13. I have seen PG-13. Okay. Brad Pitt. I was making sure it was Brad Pitt. Yeah. That's small. That's what they call small ball. Small ball. They, small budgets, and they were so careful with it. He's the first one. The guy. It's a true story. Number one, and it was the guy who did it for the Oakland A's, who was trying to do it. They keep their budgets way low, their payroll rate way low, and they just very creative, and a lot of analytical, right? I think that's the start of the analytics. Yeah,
it's where stats really started to
analytics started driving decisions more so than just the coach's gut feel. Anyway, somehow it's all that rolled up to one of the best I can remember. I might be off a little bit on but anyway, I do. It's good. It's good. I think you ought to watch it.
Yeah. I know it's one of the more renowned ones, so I definitely would want to watch it. But okay, well, there's a few more honorable mentions that people submitted last week. So if you've never heard of them and you're looking for a good sports movie, check some of those out.
I would rewatch from last week. That was, if you didn't see it, here.
Which one?
What we did last week with
rewatch your episode. Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's fascinating. I mean, I was fascinated. I was just listening. That was great.
Well, yes, tune back in. That'll be a fun one to go back to if you ever need a good sports movie recommendation. Although, one more side note, I did get a response from somebody who listened, Chris, and because Jackson had put that movie Any Given Sunday as his number one of his number ones anyway.
Yep.
And Chris messaged me. He said, "Hey, before you go watching that with your wife, just know there's a lot of male nudity in it." And so heads up to anybody who is thinking about watching that.
It was all the locker room shots, I'm sure.
Okay. Which, yeah, we got to do our locker room episode. I have not forgotten. Okay, well, let's dive into things. So this is episode 42, and today, we're going to talk sports news. And when I say news, I don't mean like how we usually do, like, what teams are up and, up on top or whatever. But this is sports news, like sports adjacent news. Like I kept seeing so many headlines last week of just stuff about like the people in sports and crazy things happening related to sports. So like, I thought it'd be interesting to just do it's all sorts of things that they're starting to get into the memes, and like it's really some like water cooler talk that doesn't have to do with like who got however many triple doubles in a basketball game or whatever. So
I might balance it out with a couple of headlines. That's something. Okay. So we'll see. No, I love it. That's why I want you to go. I think I can react to a lot of yours. So
yeah.
But there are a couple of things I'm afraid I want to kind of go back to our true roots. A couple of things to know. The quick pops that you need to know this week. Okay.
Well, good. Well, let's trade off stories. Okay. And we'll just kind of blitz these, if we want to sit on one for a little while, then we can, but let's just kind of like make sure people know the gist of what's going on, what they need to know to be able to jump into a conversation about any of these things this week. So, okay, these are like hot topics. Okay, so here we go. Dad, I'm going to come out of the gate with a feel good one. Okay, just to get us warmed up here.
Nice. Yeah.
All right. So Deion Sanders, you might have already had this one on your radar, but
No, I didn't have it today. Yep.
okay. So
I know about it. Yeah.
You know about it. So if you guys don't know that name off the bat, we've talked about him before. He's kind of one of our main characters that we keep up with. He is also known as Coach Prime. He's the coach of Colorado University's football team and a former NFL star. So, and he has two sons that are like big football talk. Like one of them is Shadur Sanders. We talked about him as he's basically a big deal. And now he's drafted as an NFL quarterback.
Cleveland Browns. Yep.
The Browns, and then Shiloh, which I don't know what Shiloh's up to, but anyways,
he's going to play for him again this year, I'm sure.
At Colorado.
He's younger. Yeah.
He's a college kid. Okay.
Yeah.
So the headline here is Deion Sanders breaks silence after keeping cancer a secret from his sons, Shadur and Shiloh. So the reason it's feel good is that he's doing good. So Coach Prime, he basically came out and said, had cancer. I had a surgery. It was bladder cancer.
Gallbladder, yeah.
And gallbladder cancer. And basically it sounds like he's in good shape. He's healing up okay. And so, but I loved this quote that he said, which is he was talking about why he didn't tell his sons. And he just said, they're focused. They're locked in. God got me. I'm going to be all right. So he's
that's the way he is.
Yeah. So he's giving glory to God, which we love here on this podcast, and all that stuff. So, but I don't know, how would you feel if you were Shadur or Shiloh finding that out?
I'd probably be mad at him at first, but again, they know him best, right? I mean, he's been a highly engaged dad. It's not like he's been a distant father at all. So he's really engaged, so close to them. Makes sense to me in some ways with the timing of it. I mean, he's had his health issues. You know, he's got circulation problems. He's had a toe or two removed, and
oh wow,
he's had a couple of issues health wise. And this was a big one, but I think he just he knew from what I read, he knew he had to have surgery, had to have it removed, and then he knew he'd get some treatments and felt like that would do it. And I think he just wanted to let them focus on what they're focusing on because they really couldn't change the outcome. I think it's kind of how he was approaching it, and let them focus. And then he was so confident in his outcome that he thought he just tell them when it's over. But also it's good that I think it's a positive. He came out, shared it when he did. He didn't have to share it at all ever, maybe with his kids, but with the media and public. But it's another opportunity for him to be in the public light and speak of something, not for his sake, but for helping others, who cancer survivors, those battling cancer. So it's just give him another cause, right? And he's so good at causes of helping others. He really is. So I think it helps him just be even more relatable to his players, and to he'll use it. He'll get them to lock down. It's us against the world, and
that's
cancer didn't take me down. We're not going to get. I mean, he's no telling how. But I do believe it was for the benefit of others, especially his sons. But I think now he's come out really open about it to benefit and encourage testing. Help physicals. I've heard him say all this stuff. Now he's got another cause
going on a tear,
and it's a positive one.
That's why he's been kind of a main character on our podcast, because he's just such a colorful, interesting guy. Like he's so loud and proud about whatever he's doing, and so he's just kind of he wins your heart over. And I'm not using that. He wins you over and wins your heart. Those are two separate sayings. So, but wins your heart over.
Yeah. He does.
Anyways, so
he's dynamic. I liked him fine. I'm an unbelievable player, and all he could do in baseball and football we've talked about. But I've had a fun watching him do what he's done, and I think he has changed some of the makeup too. I mean, he's changing for the better. I think anywhere and everywhere he goes, there's positive change he leaves in the wake. And I think we hear way too much of others, not just athletes, but others, especially those who get platforms and fame and fortune, who leave a lot of destruction in their wake.
Right.
So it's really impressive when you see somebody who I think leaves nothing but improvement and good in his wake.
Man,
But he does leave a wake. He is so dynamic. He leaves a wake.
Well, whatever he lost in toes, it sounds like he gained in positivity. So if I were to ever interview him, I'd ask if he lost the piggy that went to market or the piggy that went wee all the way home.
Yeah, I think he might have lost both of those. I'm not sure, but I can't remember about that. But anyway, yeah.
Okay,
cool.
Well, there's Coach Prime, so that's cool. Okay, hit me with one of your headlines.
Nothing that exciting. So I'm counting on you. I just think these are something you would want to know about, right? And this is a North Carolina home, right? We haven't talked about the baseball player named the Big Dumper, have we?
No, I've never heard that.
The Big Dumper. That's why you need to know.
That sounds like something poo related, possibly.
It does, but he's got a big butt and he's a catcher.
Wait, I wonder if this is what I saw a video of. Yeah, keep telling me. Yeah.
You had to. But what makes him so great is, well, let me tell you who he is and I'll tell you where he's from. But his name is Cal Raleigh, spelled like the city of Raleigh.
Oh,
I'll let you figure out what state.
Him. Yeah, one of our episodes.
Yeah. So he just hit his, sorry, I got a cough. I think he just hit his 42nd home run, but he's leading the major leagues with homers. Which is the first time, really, I can't remember if it's 30 or 40 years since a catcher has done that.
Okay.
But he's a catcher, but I just love his name, the Big Dumper. I mean, your nephews know him really well. CJ loves him because he plays for Seattle, and that's one of CJ's favorite team. But his name's Cal Raleigh.
So, are we going to discuss this nickname? Is it just because he has a big butt?
No, it started a long time ago. I wish I had the history. I can't remember.
I mean, catchers, they're squatted down so low. I can see a lot of catchers having big butts.
Yeah, but he's been tagged with that one for quite some time, apparently, that nickname.
Okay.
So that's the funny part. I knew people would remember and go, what? But here's the cool part for us. He is from Cullowhee, North Carolina.
Okay. I've never heard of that town. But...
Born and raised. Cullowhee is on the very edge border of North Carolina and Tennessee. It's the home of Western Carolina Catamounts.
Okay.
That's a small university there, Western Carolina. One of my best friends went out of high school and played college basketball for them.
Cool.
My friend Twig played college. And he earned his nickname. But anyway, isn't that so cool? So that's where he's from. He's named Cal Raleigh for the city of Raleigh.
Cool.
And he's all North Carolina, but Cullowhee is a tiny. So it just shows you great players can come from anywhere.
Okay. Wait. Oh, so there's no news about him? You're just bringing him up as a fun guy?
Yeah, because I love his nickname. And he's leading, and he's the first. I mean, he's doing something that hasn't been done in decades and decades.
Oh, the home run thing. Right.
He's leading home runs as a catcher.
That's he leading home runs this season? Like he got the most
correct.
This season? Okay.
Correct.
Cool. Okay.
And he had a cool name. That's it. I thought that's a name people are going to remember. And if you hadn't heard it, you'd really miss out at the water cooler. You go,
because
I know about the Big Dumper.
Okay, I see. So, I mean, you said he's named Cal Raleigh for the city of Raleigh, but that's not. But I think you're meaning he might be a descendant of Sir Walter Raleigh, probably. Right?
He could be, right? I don't know.
Because
they just like the name Raleigh.
Given his last name,
that's not his
given name.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, you're right. That's his last name. Right.
Okay.
Right. Somewhere along the way, somebody probably did. They probably just took the name.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, good job, Big Dumper. And
there you go.
I'm so glad you taught us that nickname. Well, it's funny you bring that up because I was going to show you a video tonight and I just decided it wasn't worth talking about. Now I'm so curious to see if it was him, but did you see a video going around of a pitcher? They got what do you call it when you walk someone by hitting them?
Yeah.
Just walk them?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you bean them, or
Like
or
if
intentional.
A pitcher hits the batter,
yeah,
they get to walk.
Right, yeah, but they call them plunk. They plunk them, or they bean them, or there's all sorts of names for it. Yeah.
So he plunked.
You hit the batter. If you hit the batter, he gets to go to first. Right.
Okay. Right. So that happened in a game recently, and I saw a clip of a guy. The ball hit his left butt cheek. He was swinging righty, so it hit his left butt cheek, but it looked like he almost tried to deflect it intentionally with his butt. He kind of gave it a little flick and the the flesh
I
of
didn't
his
see
butt
that.
rippled like crazy, and it was hilarious.
I hadn't seen that one.
So
I had to look
anyways,
that one up.
That that was, for some reason, in my social media circles, that clip was going around. So, anyways, so it might have been the big dumper. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, I just don't normally see the things you do, apparently.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I'm
That's
getting
pretty funny.
some different sports news this week. But
that's fun. There's let's see what you come up with, because there's one that I don't even want to talk about, but let's see if you bring it up.
I don't want to talk about either, but I think it's
I know you're
going
to bring it up.
Next.
I knew you would. So all right, you're
up. Serious one. Well, are you thinking serious or fun or funny? Oh, I think I know what you're thinking of. I think I don't think it's funny this week.
Well, go ahead, because you got the exciting stuff.
Now I know what you're thinking about, and yes, we are going to talk about that. So
it's been everywhere, but anyway, okay.
Okay, well, before we come up, we're going to finish on a fun climax, if you will, of this episode.
That's terrible wording. But go ahead.
But we're going to go down first, something serious, which is, it's serious and it's so stupid. So I'm sure you heard this. Well, here's the headline. New York City shooter targeted NFL headquarters, claimed to have CTE. So that headline is from ESPN.com. So this one is crazy. And so he claimed to have CTE, which, let's talk about that for a second. That's why I thought it would be good to bring up, is because that's going to come up again in sports news for people in coming years. So if you haven't heard about it, Dad, fill in the gaps for me. CTE
basically it's due to repetitive striking of your head that cause concussions along the way, and it deteriorates your brain. Your brain, it's a disease, and it deteriorates your function of your brain and can cause really violent and abnormal behavior, and it can definitely shorten your lifespan by decades.
Yeah.
And the old guys that play football, even up to the probably 80s or 90s. That's why you've seen all these changes for physical protection of the head, if at all possible, with football players and other athletes, by the way, soccer players who do headers and things like that. But football has been the number one. That for a long time, NFL denied that was the case, that it wasn't true. But more and more players started donating their bodies to science. And the ones that started dying that had played football during those eras, they were finding all sorts of damage to the brain, and finally acknowledged that NFL knowledge existed, created a big fund to help their former players, and then began to do all they can to try to protect the head, altering how tackles are made, altering what penalties are called. I grew up watching all the big highlights. Were watching linebackers take the heads off of receivers and running backs. Literally take the head off.
Like spearheading their head?
Well, they did that, but when they come in, they throw that shoulder and hit them in the head. And it was rough all the way around. But anyway, so that's the basic thumbnail of CTE.
Right. So basically, the NFL denied that they have any responsibility for this, and that they even denied that it was happening, right? That
early on for quite a while. Right.
So, but it seems like, I don't know if they have acknowledged it. It doesn't make sense for them to, as far as a business standpoint, but like, I did read that there's at least been one settlement that was like $1.5 billion or something to like help with players that were dealing with it.
That's the part. That's the first big wave. And then you've seen those crazy bubble helmets during practice. Or pre-season. Have you seen those? Just look up funny looking NFL helmets. weird, funky looking. You got to see it so you understand. They're doing that a lot in practice.
Yeah. It looks like there's kind of like a marshmallow or something around the helmet.
Exactly. It's like a bubble shell over the helmet. Yeah, over the head. And it makes the helmet huge.
That's just for practice, of course. They're not they're not putting that in games.
No, but they're trying to help protect themselves. Anyway, that's that. So yes, that shooting was crazy. All I know right now, the reason that's coming out about possible CT, he had gone to see a doctor, and we'll learn a lot more as the investigation moves forward. But he had gotten a health checkup of some sort, and some of his rumor, I think, has come out on the other end of this. So they have not released exactly his medical records or
it said he had a note on him that said he was like upset with the NFL not dealing with CTE or something like that.
So speculation of even the note exactly, right? They're not.
Yeah.
That's all evidence right now. So.
Oh,
But anyway,
I
sad, tragic for any. But yeah, apparently he was targeting their office, but he never got beyond the lobby.
Yeah, it said he took the wrong elevator or something, which
he
backs up his claims that he has brain damage.
I don't know. It's horrific, obviously. You know,
but he only played high school football too, so it's like
no, I don't think it was him.
More like it's like NFL players who have played years and years and years and have gotten a ton of concussions that are actually dealing with this. But anyways. Yeah, so that was stupid, but there you go. That happened though, so we needed to address it.
Yeah,
and so now you know kind of what's going on if you hear about that. But because I keep seeing CTE in all the headlines, so if you didn't know what CTE is, now you kind of know it's that degenerative.
And there's a great movie,
degenerative
of the brain. You're right.
Yeah,
it's a disease. So there's the movie. I cannot think of the name. All you have to do is Google the movie CTE NFL football, and you'll find. Okay. That came out that was really questioned.
Concussion with Will Smith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look what year that is. That's when it really
2015.
I think. Yeah, brought to public light that doctor who really spearheaded that. Anyway, that's a good movie. I don't accept it as 100% gospel, but I think it gives you a real good foundation of having some understanding of kind of how it probably happens to some degree, or how it was how difficult it was to bring it to light. That's what the movie's all about. The battle against the billion dollar big guy to basically one doctor and few players. Yeah. Anyway, interesting. That's worth watching.
You'd think that I give that business as business, but you think the NFL would be rewarded with like a more loyal fan base. Like everybody loves football. You're not going to lose football fans. So you think they just would be rewarded for being honest and saying, hey, we're going to be the forerunners of this research and we're going to help finance. We're going to take whatever percentage of NFL earnings and finance research and development on like new helmets, new protective gear, new treatments.
And
of the brain,
did, but it pretty much it was forced their hand.
Right.
To do so. They did some right.
And when you're forced to do that, it's like the scripture says, if you're forced to repent, I mean, that's still good, but
right.
But so it's better if you do it on your own.
It's very complex, and there's lots of nuance to it. And when the years of what they did do, and what they tried to do, and what didn't work with, ultimately, it's kind of, especially the players, they now understand taking better care of themselves too, right? Some of the old guys they would die on the field if it's what they had to do. They were the old warrior mentality, the old Roman, right? In the Roman Colosseum type.
Yeah. I'm a gladiator. I'm going to fight to the death.
Absolutely. I mean, for some of them, I mean, it was crazy. That's what they had in their lives, but it's evolved and developed, and players are more careful and they're trying. But at the same time, do you want to turn it into flag football?
Right. Yeah.
So that's the extreme. Right. So it's a balance, right? These guys do understand there's a certain risk, but I do think more and more players are, and one of my favorite linebackers with the Panthers left at age 28. He'd had too many concussions, and he realized if he wanted to have a healthy life, he had to shut it down, and it broke his heart so badly. So anyway, there's more players who are walking away if they've had, because those are the only ones that have been identified. Most of those guys know probably how many they've actually had.
Yeah.
That they didn't let anybody diagnose or anything over the years.
I see.
So that's a good sign. That's a good sign that players are educated. And anyway, that's that.
Well, I do want to say one more thing, which is like, I've heard, I haven't done research on this, so this is just a hearsay for me, but I've heard that rugby has like a fraction of the injuries and like this type of thing that football has. Is that true?
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Yeah, I have too. And it is.
So can you
watch how they play? They do so much from the scrum. And their heads, so they're not as colliding quite as much in the same fashion. And yes, sometimes they've said NFL, some speculation, some of the equipment has done a lot more damage, right? So rugby has a lot less. Now, some of them still wear that headgear thing,
but it's light, very light protection.
But it's just a different design, and then how they tackle is very different. Yeah. So it's just.
I'm wondering, could football learn something from rugby? And
I think they have. So I think some of the tackling. I think again, there's so many. Yeah, it's just tricky. Every time they try to alter the way they tackle, then the new way they tackle creates another type of injury, but it protects the head. But there's Keaton, your brother, would be an expert on this. So you have to ask. There's a couple tackles that they keep trying to. They even eliminate a new tackle, and they're saying, and the defenders are now saying, "How do you want me to bring this guy down to the ground?
Yeah.
I can't hit him high. I can't hit him low at the knees." But now you're saying it's something called a drop. You have to ask Keaton, drop hip, drop waist tackle, where they get them someone and they do some sort of drop. Now they're saying they can't do that. And they're saying, how in the world am I supposed to bring the offensive player down?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they are trying, but they're getting to, I think, going over the top. But
interesting. All right.
Yep.
Well, we'll come back to that at some point eventually, I guess. But okay. Yep. Let's come back up to some fun stuff. So your turn for a headline, and then
this one you need to be talked about. I have two, but this one I have two quick ones. This one, so the coaches poll for I'm already gearing up for college football.
Oh yeah.
Coaches poll came out. This is the coaches poll. Top 5 teams.
What's the coaches
Texas
poll?
Well, it's just like it's the coaches for NCAA football. They vote the top 20 teams in the country who they think.
The coaches.
So the
coaches of the college football teams.
Coaches of
They vote on who they think is the best team
for this year, upcoming.
Oh well, they're going to just vote for their own team, probably, right?
No, they don't. I don't think they're allowed to vote for their own team. Is probably how it works. Anyway,
sorry. Go ahead.
Here, I'm getting to my real quick point, but it's Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, Notre Dame, which is no shock.
Yeah.
Texas, of course, got Arch Manning. We're going to see what he's really made of. But the cool thing is, because of these playoff scenarios now, right? The big playoff versus just the 14. Used to a college team would not want to schedule. Except for the conference, they would schedule a lot of powder puff games, right? Because they had to win. They couldn't afford to lose a game. If they lost a game, they might not get into the Final Four because they're so,
right.
So much. And it's like their season was over if they lost one, especially 2 games. Well, because of that change for the larger playoff system,
12-team bracket, right?
Yeah, and they're talking about going to 16 team, I think maybe next year. But
okay.
But it's pretty exciting. I love it. It makes the bowl games more exciting. I mean, I'm all in on it. But what I love is we would not have gotten this matchup if this had not made a change. The first game of the year for these two teams is against each other. Now, number 1 and number 2 teams, the coaches poll, Texas is playing Ohio State.
Whoa,
Ohio State national champion last year, right? So how cool is that? That's how you start in the year. You're having one of the biggest games of the year right off the bat. Most of us suffer the first 2 or 3 weeks of college because it's like Alabama playing Rosemary State, and they beat them 81-7 or something, and they pay Rosemary State $500,000 to play them. Right now, with a lot of we eliminated a lot of that. Okay. There's still some of it, but we've eliminated it.
There's less trepidation about ruining the team's chances.
All I want to do is run up the flagpole
schedules.
That we got the coolest game to start the season. That
here's
national attention. Yes.
Like because eventually in a normal season before all these changes in the tournament, wouldn't it have Texas played Ohio State anyway at some point?
No, they're not in the same conference. They're not in the same conference.
So why is this okay now, I guess, or what?
Because you can schedule non-conference games. Schools can schedule their own non-conference games
just for kicks.
Yeah, well, and
money,
and to
I guess
build your money, build your reputation. In other words, to build your resume for the year.
So the administrative directors, or whatever you call them, they're calling
athletic directors.
Athletic directors.
Administrative.
I don't know why I said administrative. Okay, yeah.
But that's okay.
They're calling each other. They're probably calling all sorts of schools around the country, making deals. What's going to be the best matchup for attention and that kind of stuff.
And it usually is done years in advance, and sometimes they change. But anyway, that's cool. That's a big deal and a big shift in college football, and we're reaping the benefit by getting this great matchup.
Strong, having a fun game at the beginning. Okay,
I mean, that's crazy. All right. That's that. What do you got?
Okay. Well, are you done? Do you have any more? Because I want to end.
I got one. Yeah. Okay. Let me give you this one little one, only because I think he played at Wake Forest University. But this is the cool part about it. But a golfer named Cameron Young, this is the only reason I'm bringing this up, won his first PGA Tour event this past weekend.
Okay.
Is
he young? Is he a new?
No, he's not brand new. He's been around, but he's been a good golfer, but he's never won. but he's been competitive. Yeah, he's been good, but he hadn't won. And I forgot he's not that old, but he's so two things makes it cool. One, he becomes the 1,000th. They call it the 1,000th unique winner in tour history, meaning there's been 1,000 different people. Now there's been a lot more wins because one guy like Tiger Woods won 78 or something. But I thought it's kind of cool. He gets to be the 1,000th different individual man to win a golf tournament on the PGA Tour.
Okay,
kind of cool. I don't know, it's kind of cool. But here's what I like. In green, the tournament's not one of the big ones. It's like one of those small ones towards the end, but still a PGA victory. And it's at it's called the Wyndham Championship at Sedgefield in Greensboro.
Okay.
So that's where, when we lived in Greensboro, and my partner, he lived out that way, and I got to play that course several times. But they really enhanced it over the last 35 years when we lived there. You weren't born yet. But anyway, so it's a course I know really well, and it's over in Greensboro.
Cool.
And it was just cool. Yeah, it was fun.
That was where he won the tournament? Was it at that course? Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
So did you watch much
it's
of
in
it?
a nice neighborhood?
Kind of go down memory lane?
Watched a little bit at Caleb's house when we were celebrating Seeley's birthday. He had it on the screen, and I could see a few of the houses and a couple of the fairways and greens. And pretty cool.
Okay.
They've improved it dramatically over the last many years. All right, that's all I got for you. Nothing fancy, but that's kind of
while we're
neat
on
little
golf,
tidbit.
Happy Gilmore 2 just came out. So golf kind of is on people's minds and like the general populace right now. I think I haven't looked at the numbers, but I think it's performing really well. I mean,
let's see.
Taylor Swift put it on her Instagram story. And she said she loved it because her boyfriend's in it. But
that's true.
But Macy, I'll tell you, I was interested in watching it, and I floated it to Macy a few weeks ago, and she, kind of was like, you can watch that one. Anyway, she comes to me a few days later, and she says, "Hey, I have a movie idea for tonight." And I said, "What?" She's like, "You're gonna hate me," and I'm like, "Just tell me." She said, Happy Gilmore 2. And I'm like, what? Well, a good thing I hadn't watched it yet. And I said, who told you? Because usually it's like a certain friend.
Right.
So she said it was on Taylor Swift's Instagram story.
There you go.
So thank you, Taylor Swift, for the first time ever. I'm saying that. Thank you.
Credibility. She backed you up. She's got the cred.
Yeah.
Well, they're calling Tony Finau, who's one of our favorite golfers. You know Tony Finau.
Yeah.
From out west, and great member of the church. They call him one of the stars of the show. Right now, IMDb is only giving us 6.2, but I think that's probably
for like a goofy comedy. That's not bad. Yeah, that's probably
pretty good. Huh?
It's probably a really fun watch. We still haven't watched it because when she finally came around, I said, okay, well, I've never seen the first one all the way through, so let's watch that first. So we did that one last week, and honestly, super funny. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. And
I'm glad it's PG-13, but it's still with Adam Sandler. It's going to have some
raunchy moments for sure.
Yeah,
but
the list of I saw the whole list of all the cameos, and some of the cameos are pretty long. They're like Finau's in there a lot. Some of these guys are in there a lot.
Okay,
a lot more than you would think. Yeah. So anyway,
Travis Kelce.
So I haven't seen it yet, but I thought it'd be Well, so that's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, so that's going on. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about golf, go to some of our former episodes where we mentioned PGA or Open or whatever. And
the majors.
Yeah, because I will say when we watched the first Happy Gilmore, I understood a lot better what was going on, because they don't really explain where his matches are, but they kind of will say like a pro match or a pro-am match is like one of the things. Anyway, so stuff like that. So it's more enjoyable to watch these sporty movies when you know a little bit more about the sport. So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's bring this home. We went on longer than I thought we would, as always.
All right, bring it home.
Okay. So we got to end on some of the most talked about sports news of the week. Probably the most stuff I've seen about it. So 2 things in the WNBA. And let me just go ahead. Let me start. We're rooting for the WNBA. Like, they're underdogs.
Sure.
It'd be great to see. It's great to see anybody succeed, and it'd be great to see them profitable and not have to be supported by the NBA or whatever. And so what I want to say, my take is any publicity is good publicity. And so these are some wacky instances that, of course, some people are up in arms about, some people are laughing hysterically about on the internet. But here's what I say. Any publicity is good publicity. I think more people are probably going to be watching the WNBA this next week because of these headlines. But they're also just really funny to talk about. So let's talk about them. So the first one is, the headline is fan at WNBA game ejected for their reaction to player losing a wig. And so, Dad, there's nothing funny about this. Nothing comedic. Okay, don't laugh.
I know this one.
Some people have to wear wigs. Actually, I watched the video, and it looks like she still had hair.
Oh yeah, this is not a wig because they're bald. This is those extensions.
It's a style thing, which it did kill me when I found that, because at first I was like, "Oh, that is sad." If you if you really need to wear it. But it's just for style, which I'm like, come on, you're a professional athlete, like. I don't know. It's like that was kind of coming for you, in my opinion.
Right. Somebody's going to grab it by accident at minimum at some point and yank it out of your hair. Now they're woven in pretty tight. So it's a pretty hard yank. It's a pretty hard yank.
So I wonder if someone yanked it. Do you know?
I
watched the clip, but it just kind of looked like it fell off.
Fell out. Maybe it could have been
heads or something.
Somebody could have already grabbed it some. I don't know. But yeah, it could have been. Well, not all are woven in. It could have been clipped in. I've seen this stuff. It drives me nuts. It's like the guys that play football have super long hair. They can't complain when somebody grabs it to tackle them. I mean, anything that's loose, you grab it, right?
Right.
That's all you can get a hold of. Anyway, so yes, I knew that was going to be one of them.
So that happened. Okay. That was a player named Kalia Copper on the Phoenix Mercury. So if you see her name pop up in your doom scrolling, that's probably why you're seeing that. But it's crazy.
Remember, this is a kids show, as you some too.
Right? No, I'm not.
When you get to your next,
I've got a plan. So
okay.
But anyways, yeah, the wig thing is crazy because she as soon as it comes off, they were mid play and she bolts off the court. And so the coach called a timeout, of course. But to me, I was kind of like, I would have had some serious respect for her if she had just said, screw the wig.
Playing. Yeah, right.
That would have been, to me, that would have been a moment where I'm like, okay, WNBA players can be pretty cool, right? It's just one of those moments that would have, I think, increased fandom maybe a little bit, or the chances of getting more fans, because it's okay, we're all laughing, but look at her, she doesn't care, she just wants to play the game. So it's anyways, kind of wish she had done that, because the way she handled it just lends itself to internet people making fun of her on the internet so easily. And apparently some fan, I don't know what they were saying, but apparently they got ejected for laughing hard enough at it. I don't know what they said or did, but
I'm sure they were abusing it loud,
I'm sure.
vocal something,
Yeah. So I don't think it's a hysterical thing. I just think it's a moment where it's
different, it's unique, it's unusual.
Exactly. It's a very rare thing to see in sports. So worth mentioning. Well, speaking of which, okay, this one I have, more sensitive feelings about, because there's actually a physical danger associated with this next one. So you may have heard on the news. I know you have, Dad, but for those listening, I'll censor this headline a little bit. But fan arrested for throwing, let's say, a cylindrical object of adult affiliation during Valkyrie's dream game. So these objects, there's been 2 in the past week, because immediately there's a copycat, of course, right? But there was one last week that it just seemed like a fluke, that one of these objects got thrown onto the WNBA court during a game. And anyways, and then a few days later, it happened again at another game. Bright green, at least the second one that I saw. And some coach or assistant coach kicked it off the court immediately, and some ball boy or someone grabbed it with a towel and took it off, which I thought it was smart to grab with a towel, because who knows where that thing's been, right? But anyways, what do you think, Dad, about this instance?
I'm just letting you talk.
It seems like you don't want to broach this subject.
No, here's what I feel about anything. So yes, number one, when you have these sports, all sports, but when you have basketball and they've made it so, including the WNBA, they've this could have been thrown from several rows up. The bottom line is the fans have become encroached closer to them, where they could trip them almost on the sideline.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying they've just, so you're in real close proximity. So I hate to say the world has got crazier and crazier. So there's increased security, especially the high profile NBA or other, but WNBA too is getting more of it. So my first concern is player safety. People and fans are thinking that there's a couple types of fans. The number one, the fan that gets so close and they almost think they think they're part of the game. They think they've paid X amount of dollars to be around there. They think they can almost engage the player, right?
Yeah.
Slap them on the butt when they go by or confront, the opposition. I mean, it's bad. I mean, It's kind of gotten bad at times. So that's number one, player safety. And as soon as you start throwing anything on the court, player safety becomes in jeopardy immediately. I don't care what it is you throw. If you step on it, roll their ankle, break their ankle, hurt them. I mean, there's a million different things, but it clearly shows classless, tasteless, lack of respect, and just pure ignorant, the lowest form of what they think is comedic behavior.
Sure.
I mean, it is of the lowest form of crude. And I'm glad they found him out quick and that they've arrested him for you come up all sorts of charges, but endangerment and all sorts of things.
Yeah, those things can.
There's going to be at least a big fine, and he's going to be banned from ball games probably forever at WNBA or wherever.
Yeah.
So that's what I think of that is I do worry that it really is. And that I'm not saying that's an example. There's other in Philadelphia, those guys throw full beer cans at the players. NFL, thankfully, most of them, if you're an away team with NFL, with the Eagles fans, never to take your helmet off when you're on the field.
Well,
never.
But
because you're going to get with snowballs, beer cans.
They're all open cups now, right? Because I feel like most of these arenas are.
They show all the old ones, the old cans, but still they throw mostly snowballs if it snows. I mean, they throw a lot. I don't know what they find, but they throw a lot to them. But anyway,
man, what happened to a good old-fashioned Rotten Tomato? That's the good stuff.
Yeah,
right there.
That would be the best. But anyway, it was, to your point, I think it's that balance, right? It's that balance of the difference is the way information is delivered. The old days, and even on ESPN, it was got a flash, a big headline, and then it went to the small headline pretty quick and stay there because it's the balance of draw attention to it. It's wrong. It's ridiculous, but also don't glorify or draw so much attention. Then you're going to have 30 of them at the next game, right? Because idiots feed off of other idiots' behavior. Isn't that right? I mean, to a great deal. So I thought they handled that part, but the problem is now, as you can tell, you can go find footage of that whole thing from a million different angles. Personal people uploaded their video clips because they were taking a video clip of the game, what have you. So now information is delivered in a way where it can get a lot. And then if somebody finds out, it got 1 million views, then that person thinks it was well worth it, right?
Exactly. And that's the thing is the press doesn't own news anymore like we do on social media. So so this is just one of those stories that really didn't deserve to become huge, but it is huge. And there's a lot of commentary on the internet about both of these WNBA headlines. But again, I just want to wrap this up by saying, I hope somebody benefited from those free gifts thrown onto the court, first of all. And I knew you'd like that. And then,
that's terrible.
And then any publicity.
I'm going to ignore you said that.
And then any publicity is good publicity. So, these are annoying and crazy points of dialogue for WNBA. And I know this isn't how they want to be talked about, but people are talking about them. And I think it'll just contribute to further growth for them. Although I do hear Caitlin Clark is injured and out again right now. So,
yes, she has a growing injury, and that's really sidelined her earlier, and then she tried to come back, injured it again. So that's costly for the WNBA right now.
Yeah. So they'll figure it out, but
she'll get better.
There's all of our fun news for the week, fun and not so fun. But thanks for going over it with me today, Dad, and we'll have to figure out a more edifying subject next week, maybe.
We'll come up with something. All right. Well, it's been fun as always.
Yes, sir. Well, let's sign off. Thank you so much, Dad. We'll talk to you next week. Oh,
See
actually,
you, Coop.
oh, we need to talk, but I'll be on vacation next Monday, so we need to sort out something. But okay.
No problem. See you,
All
Coop.
right. Love you. See you, Dad.
Love you. Bye.
SportSense.